What's up? This is Ben from WOD Prep, and I am here with my head coach, Dr. CJ DePalma, to bring you the ultimate CrossFit Quarterfinal Strategy Guide. So we are going to cover in this video everything that you need to know about the 2024 CrossFit Quarterfinals Workouts, including which order to do the workouts in. Hint, it's not just 1, 2, 3, 4. We're also going to talk about which workouts we suggest potentially redoing because they might maximize your score even better. And then we're going to go into detail about how to get your best score possible within each workout and go through all the movements of workouts 1, 2, 3, and 4. This video is brought to you specially by Sandbar Callus Care. It is one of my favorite tools in my workout bag. And if you stick around, I'm going to teach you how you can use the full sandbar and the quickie to make sure that your hands do not rip in any of these workouts, because I think that's a score killer more than almost anything in this sport. Is if you rip your hands wide open, it's really hard to get a great score. So stay tuned. But if you want to get a discount, they never offer discounts. Go to sandbarcalluscare.com/WODPrep. Use the code WODPrep10 and you can save $10 off whichever sandbar you decide to order. And last thing before we get started, there's going to be a bunch of bonus content coming out through the weekend, including additional tips, strategy, videos to help you with all the various movements. If you want to get all of our quarterfinal strategy delivered to your inbox for free, just go to wodprep.com/QF, enter your name and email, and I will send you all of our quarterfinals content this weekend for free so you can really maximize your score. And with that, let's dig into which order should you do these workouts in. Okay, so when it comes to doing the quarterfinal workouts, workouts 1 and 2 are due by 5 p.m. on Saturday Pacific Standard Time. Workouts 3 and 4 are due by 5 p.m. Monday Pacific Time. So assuming that we're starting on Thursday, how should we attack workouts 1, 2, 3, and 4, and what order?
Yeah, great. So our broad stroke suggestion is going to be to do workouts 4 and 1, and then workout 2, and then workout 3, okay? And then with potentials of retests kind of here and there. So we're gonna open with workout 4. Workout 4 is our strength bias workout, and so no matter where you're gonna finish in that barbell, we think it's gonna be the easiest one to retest later in the week on Sunday or Monday. Also the one that's gonna cause the least amount of fatigue to start, right? We always like to start with a good strength piece because we're really fresh. Then on the same day, on Thursday, a couple hours later, we're gonna do workout 1. Okay, workout 1 has a lot of strategy in it, with not as much of a beatdown fatigue kind of as that feel of workout 2. So if we need to redo it, we still have Saturday to do so.
So you could redo workout 1 on Saturday morning potentially.
Correct, okay. Potentially. That's why the setup is this way. And then workout 2 is completely designed to beat you up, right? Fatigue, CNS
this is how
fatigue,
I feel about workout 2.
Volume, endurance. Ben doesn't like burpees or wall balls. And so all the workouts are technically redoable. If you redo workout 2, I think you will set yourself up for failure for the rest of the weekend. So we're gonna go in it with the intent of not redoing it. We do it by itself on Friday. And then on Saturday is our option to redo workout 1 if needed. And the only times that we redo, you're gonna be fatigued, is if you made a big strategical error. That's it, okay? So resting or potential redo on Saturday. Sunday, we're doing workout 3, which is our gymnastics bias workout. And so that also gives us a chance to maybe, if we need to redo that on Monday, it's possible. We can also, if you're really crushed, we can rest Sunday. We can have a full weekend of rest and just do workout 3 on Monday, along with workout 4 if needed. Then Monday has the option to do workout 4 as a repeat as well. So that's our order. 4, 1, 2, 3, with some rest in between there, kind of front loading the week.
Okay, workout 1 is showing on the screen. We have snatches, rowing, and dumbbell box step-ups. So there's a few key points we're gonna cover here, but first, here is our suggested floor layout. Everything is parallel with each other. The barbell is nice and close to your rower, not so close you're gonna smash it, so that you can get directly into the rower. So when I'm done my snatches, I can come here, sit down, get into the rower. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. And then when I'm done rowing, I'm here on the box. And then of course you have a full minute of rest to work your way back over to the barbell. So that's the setup. Now let's break down each individual movement with a few key points, starting with the snatch. The main key for the snatch, singles. So I'm gonna go over here so I can face you, but normally I want you to do it here. All we're looking for is quick singles here. So get set up, snatch, drop, let your bar settle, maybe take a breath or two, pick it back up. Ideally, if you've done Isabel, we're gonna go a little bit slower than Isabel. So just quick, steady singles in a pace that allows us to feel pretty good to row very, very hard. So I don't wanna go over the snatches too much more, but ideally just power snatches.
Yeah.
Anything else to add, CJ?
Yeah, don't run your snatches at like the 57-second mark, right? So finish about 54 to 55 seconds.
Yeah.
That one extra rep looks really nice, but that could cost you 3 to 4 calories here, which we're going to talk about here in a second. So give yourself 5 to 7 seconds from your last rep, so you're sitting on this rower when that clock turns over the next minute.
Remember, each rep counts the same. So the most valuable piece of equipment here for your score is the rower, the erg. So again, 54-ish seconds, I drop that bar. I don't have to step over because I'm facing this way. And we're gonna get into the rower. Ideally, I want you to get in without having to strap. Okay, so the straps are just loose enough where I can easily slide my feet in. And I am ready to row when that clock starts. We don't want to waste any time. We are maximizing our full minute on the rower, and we need to be rowing fairly hard.
Yeah, it's a full sprint start, right? So we said 54 seconds. That could be great for round 1. That might not be great for round 2 or 3 if you're really breathing hard. So when you get on this rower, you want to be able to take that breath, and your first pull is a full sprint pull like you're doing a 500-meter row. Every time, right?
So no half pull or anything, just yank it?
I like the full pull personally. If you do like a partial pull, right? I mean, he was at 2,000 calories per hour in 2 seconds, right? So it's in between maybe like the most 100% full send because you could completely ruin the workout, but this is where you're gonna get most of your work. So we wanna make sure when the clock hits 0, we are pulling at full effort and we're running it all the way to that 60-second mark.
What percentage effort are we saying on this? 90, 95% effort?
It's not quite your 500-meter pace, way faster than your 2K pace, so 95% effort.
95%.
Let's go with 95% effort.
And again, all the way. I'm pulling all the way until that clock stops.
Yep.
When the actual calories on the screen, are they recorded?
At the 60, no rollovers.
There's no rollovers, okay.
Like the open. And then make sure if you're videoing, right, this would be a flipped, right? So you would have your video pointing at the screen so you can see it. No rollovers, someone else can reset it.
So once that timer beeps, then you're done pulling, okay? Yep. So again, we are maximizing that rower, and all I'm doing to get out of my foot straps is I'm kicking up, lifting my heel, and pulling out. You shouldn't be fiddling around with the straps a lot, because if it takes me a few extra seconds to get out of the straps, this is all time that we're cutting into these dumbbell box step overs, okay? So full minute here, and then you are gonna waste a second or two stepping over to the dumbbell box step ups. And then from here, the first thing we're gonna suggest is get a hook grip. So grab the dumbbells wherever you can actually hook grip them. If you have smaller handled dumbbells, that'd be better. And then it's stepping up for a full minute. Just kind of grind through it, try to find a good cadence. The step that I usually suggest, and I'm actually going to drop these just so I can demonstrate a little bit better, is the step that I suggest is you step up, you finish, stand all the way up, and then I'm stepping down with the original foot I stepped up with. So here, tap, go, and now I'm going to step down with my left, tap, go, step down with my right, tap, go. Once you get into that rhythm, it's really, really easy to keep that rhythm. You're tapping and going with that trailing foot off the bottom, and it's just gonna keep you moving. What we don't wanna see is you step up, and then you're like stepping down, step up, switching feet, and you're just wasting a lot of time with extra footwork. Try to nail your cadence down before this workout so that when you actually get to the dumbbells, you can just roll with it, and you're alternating each time, again, with that touch and go off the trailing leg. CJ, any final words on this workout?
Yeah, working all the way to the minute, okay? If grip is a really, really big limiter, it'll be very hard for you to go unbroken there. But we really think because you're going into a rest and you're doing singles on the bar, that's still gonna be like the most appropriate approach for most people because singles are gonna be there. And so I think trying to stay unbroken is the key. they're working all the way into the minute, and you're going to be getting close to that red line really early on these box step-ups. That's okay.
Hook grip, hold on for dear life, try to go the full minute. And with that, we're going to move on to workout 2. Let's talk about workout 2, which is displaying on the screen, and it's 150 wall balls and 150 burpee box jump overs. Ouch. So one of the biggest tips for this is this should feel very similar to the pacing that you did for 24.2. This is a long workout. There's going to be a lot of people that don't even finish this workout. So that being said, you should not be overly tired after round 1. I think a lot of people are going to be trapped into these first 50 wall balls, and they're going to do massive sets. And then they're going to get halfway through the first set of 50 burpee box jump overs and be completely trashed. You should be done that whole first round and not feel too tired. Right, CJ?
Yes, for sure.
You should almost feel fresh-ish after that first full round, okay? Now, when it comes to the wall balls, remember, a couple things to note is, yes, you can pick the ball up and go immediately into the squat. I don't want you to go for big unbroken sets on the wall ball if it means it's going to fatigue you on the burpee box jump over. So doing things like 5 sets of 10 could work. Or you can do descending sets. That's what I like to do. I like to do a little bit bigger set in the beginning and then slowly make them smaller just because it makes me feel better about myself. But it's okay to break up your sets here multiple times for each round of 50 wall balls. Just make sure that when you are breaking up those wall balls, you're not walking around the gym and wasting a ton of time. Drop it, take a few breaths, and move on to the burpee box jump overs. Anything else for the wall balls?
No, small sets. I think that's the way to go. Save the arms along with the aerobic. I think your arm fatigue is going to be much higher than I think people realize.
Yeah, and for me, I do like the clearing stroke. Not everybody likes it, but for me, when my arms get really tired, I like to throw the wall ball up and I like let my arms relax. So rather than keeping my arms up the whole time, I like to throw and then I relax and catch here, kind of loosening up my shoulders, but CJ hates it. He thinks it's way worse. So do whatever wall balls are comfortable for you. For me, I do like that clearing stroke. I think it does save my shoulders a little bit. But I got these big old shoulders, so there's a lot to move. All right, he hates when I do that. So let's talk about the burpee box jump overs. Burpee box jump overs, huge, huge thing that you need to remember is this is a no rep. That's a no rep because when you jump up and over the box, you have to jump up and step down. That is the only way that it's allowed. You can technically jump all the way over. Please don't do that. Don't be that guy or girl. Don't do that. But you have to make sure you're not just bouncing off the top because that's a no rep. You have to step down, okay? Next tip when it comes to the burpees, lead with your chest. So when it comes to getting my chest down, what we don't want to see is this long hip first wormy push up because that's going to really fatigue our arms. So think about just getting your chest down as quick as you can. I like to step up with my outside foot, kind of start turning towards the box. You'll notice that my hip, when I do the burpee, is about midway on the box. It's not way back here, so I don't have to do an extra step up to the box. My hip is midway on the box. I turn, jump up, step down with that outside leg, chest first, step up with my outside foot, turn. That's the cadence I'm going to be doing. Any other tips for the burpee box jump overs?
Keep it paced. Step up, jump back, step off the box. It's not fast, guys. It's slow.
And when you say jump back, so you're saying
hop back, both
hop
feet.
back down,
Yep.
but then step up from the bottom.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Hop back, step up. This whole workout is paced. There's only a couple people that are going to be able to send it, and it's like on one hand.
Before we dive into workout 3, I mentioned earlier in the video, super important to take care of your calluses. My favorite thing to do that is the sandbar. It's really easy to use. You've seen me mention it in a few other videos. But one thing a lot of people don't know is they have a quickie. This is a mini version of the sandbar that you attach to your keychain using this cool magnetic clip. And it's a really good thing that you can use right before your workout on your way to the gym. You can carry it with you anywhere and it takes care of your calluses once and for all. Because if you rip you're not going to get your best score possible on workout 3 or any other workout you do. So go grab yourself a sandbar, whether it's the quickie or the full one. Go to sandbarcaliscare.com/WODprep. Use the code WODprep10 and you'll be saving money. They never offer discounts, so this is your chance to go get a discount at sandbarcaliscare.com/WODprep. All right, let's dig into workout 3. This is a lot of gymnastics, and it's really important you pay attention because this one, your strategy is going to mean a lot. CJ, let's talk about the first movement, handstand push-ups.
So we have 3 rounds of 10 handstand push-ups anyway, right? So breaking these up is going to be the biggest deciding factor, right? We have our standard, which is the same standard we've had for the last 3 years, so everyone should be used to it. If you haven't been using this standard, shame on you, but it's the same one. So it's 10 for 3 rounds. Every age group has a little bit different of a variation, but you should know how that feels and break it up accordingly, okay? Breaking up handstands more is better than trying to go for a big set early. This is very early in the workout. So Ben, you want to show us kipping handstand push-up? So Ben's going to place his hands. He goes with an index finger. You can also go with a thumb on the tape as well. If that's too narrow for you, you like it a little wider, but you're going to be a little closer. So those are our 2 options for the kipping handstand push-ups. Very simple. Breaking them early is better than going for big chunks.
Because remember, if you redline on something like handstand push-ups, meaning like you get to failure, very difficult to recover from them, even with some big breaks to do other movements. So don't redline here. Think about smaller sets than you want, and I promise that's going to save you so you can keep accumulating rather than just resting and staring at the wall. So after the handstand push-ups, and remember, we have tons of other free content about this, so if you need more help with handstand push-ups or the toes to bar or the ring muscle-ups or the rope climbs, make sure you go to wodprep.com/QF, and I'll send out a complete resource guide that covers all these movements. All right, great. Now let's talk about toes to bar. When it comes to the toes to bar, if you cannot do more than 10 unbroken toes to bar, what should you do, CJ?
It pains me to say, but if you can't do more than 10, you should probably be doing quick singles the entire way, okay? And I know that's a big number, but 60, guys, this is basically 60 toes to bar for time, okay? You're gonna get to singles really fast anyways, so singles can be really quick. Ben is a professional single connoisseur advisor, so I think that's the key, is keeping them consistent, no long breaks on the handstand push-ups or the toes to bar. Smaller sets early in this workout is important, and it's also beneficial because you can do small sets without taking long breaks.
Yep.
Right? Like the wall-facing handstand push-ups a little different, you know, because there's a buy-in, etc. So they can be really short, and it makes it easy.
I'll put it this way. I'm pretty sure I did like 45 or 50 unbroken toes to bar a while ago. I will still be doing sets of 5, probably no more than that. So unless you are a wizard at toes to bar, please do smaller sets than you think. So many people are going to be trapped because they're going to feel great after their first set of handstand push-ups. They're going to come over and they're going to knock out a set of 10 and then 10. And they're going to be like, I'm doing great. And then by the time they get to the end of this first part of the workout, they're going to be smoked, and it's going to smoke them for the rope climbs, the muscle-ups, and everything. So now we're moving back to the handstand push-ups, and it's 10 strict handstand push-ups. Anything you want to say there?
2 rounds, 10 strict handstand push-ups. Make sure you know your age group variation. Here, very similar again. Singles are fine. They can work really well. You should know yourself. We should have done, especially if you follow WODprep programming, you should know what you feel and how to break up sets of 10, okay? Couple sets are fine. I wouldn't go to failure by any means. Don't get close to that failure point. Always have a couple reps in the tank when it comes to strict. It's only 2 sets of 10, so it's a little less risky than maybe the 50 strict handstand push-ups in the open a few years ago, right? So you can play with it a little bit more, but definitely staying away from failure.
I highly suggest, when I like to do strict handstand push-ups, if you can get a big old puffy mat like this is like crash pads. This is a great thing. I can kind of bounce my head out of the bottom, okay? Right? Like, I mean, we can do this in levels, but don't do your strict handstand push-ups on a concrete floor, right? It's so much harder to do those there. So use a pad, make sure it's to standard and everything, but if you have a nice soft pad that you can touch your head to, I find that's a lot easier to actually cycle those strict handstand push-ups. And remember, if you get to your red line here, it's going to be very hard to keep moving in this workout. So make sure you leave a couple reps in reserve, maybe until you get to that second round and you're about to finish those last 10 strict handstand push-ups.
Last thing on that, everyone that you watch on TV is using a mat for handstand push-ups, just to be clear.
Yeah.
They're all bouncing.
Yeah.
No one's going to the ground.
We're all bouncing our head off of a pad because it's functional fitness. Okay, so after that, we're moving on to the rope climbs. My biggest tip for the rope climbs, it's 5 of them each round, so 10 total, is this workout, we're not using our legs very much. So jump your little heart out. I want you to jump as high as you can within reason and grab as high as you can so that you can get up the rope in as few pulls as possible. Don't stress if you have to do 3 or 4 pulls, that's okay. Don't force yourself to go 2 pulls because the toes to bar are going to be smoking our hip flexors. So getting that big leg lift is going to be a lot harder than you think. But don't be the person that comes up here and goes like this and then starts to climb the rope, right? Actually jump. Get a nice big jump, reach, and then get those legs as high as you can, and you'll be on your way up the rope. Don't break your ankle coming down the rope. So if you can find a rope that doesn't have a long tail end, I've seen most people break their ankles with these long tails on the ground coming down. Don't do that. CJ, any other tips on the rope climbs?
Find a pace. 5 is a decent chunk at this part of the workout, so keep that in mind. It also gives you a good enough break from those handstand push-ups to, okay, I'm pretty fresh for these handstands. I can get back to the rope kind of quick. So there's a long break here. This is a lot of time. Try to find a pace where you're not just staring at the rope. Everyone is doing legged. 55 plus is doing 12 feet. So you guys should feel comfortable to get up quicker. And so we want it to be continued cycle, right? You shouldn't get to this point and take 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes to do 5 rope climbs, right? We want to be able to get up, come down, breathe, and go. Use your legs, use your clamp, save your arms.
Ideally, each rope climb, the cycle time should be relatively the same. Don't do 3 really fast and then stare at the rope for a minute in between the last 2. Just nice and steady, remember your jump. And if you need more rope climb tips, remember, if you go to wadprep.com/QF, we'll make sure to send out some other videos about how to get down the rope more effectively, the proper foot clamp technique, all those kinds of things we just can't cover in this video because this video is already really long. With that, anything else on that part, or is it time to move on to the final part? So the final part involves wall facing, just 1 round of 10 wall facing strict handstand push-ups. CJ, what do we need to know about those?
With the buy-in, right? So in years past, we had to wall walk without standards. So you had to start on your belly, or you just had to wall walk up. You can get up any way now. So if you do the cartwheel thing, you've done that in the past, do that. If you don't do that, don't try to do it now. That's not a good idea.
So I'm not doing that.
Ben's just so you can just kind of hop up, right? He can be really close to the wall. He doesn't have to come all the way down, okay? And so here, unlike our other ones, because there's a buy-in, we should probably try and do this to a little bit bigger of a set. We would never want to go to full failure, but how are you going to come down? Woo! Oh, that was nice. Ta-da! So we're going to go to a bigger set there. It's only 10. You're coming off of 5 rope climbs, so your pressing should feel not too bad, right? I think that's going to be kind of a throwaway. You either have them or you don't. And so I think a lot of people are going to really struggle to get to this point anyways.
So yes, it's going to be tough to get to this part of the workout, but remember what CJ is saying. You just saw me get up and get off of that movement. It's very expensive. It takes a while to get back up. It takes a while to awkwardly come down. If you're wall walking down, that's very fatiguing. So this is the time to go full send and see if you can get all 10 unbroken. If you can, that's great, or 2 sets, great. But the more times you have to go up and come down for these wall-facing handstand push-ups, you're just gonna waste a lot of time and energy. So this is where you go full send, knock it out, get through them, and then when you get through them,
muscle ups. You got 20 or 60 plus has chest to bars, and so the main thing that we're suggesting to everyone is don't base the workout on this point here, right? For 99% of people, this is icing on the cake, right? Unless you are an individual athlete trying to go to semifinals, then you have to make decisions getting to this point. But for all of our other athletes, getting any reps here is going to be money in the bank. Don't adjust the workout for that. get here, just do what you can, take smart sets. Smaller sets are always better on muscle ups.
So don't try to don't be worried about the ring muscle ups and be like, oh, I got to go slower to make sure I get to them.
Right.
Really, most people aren't making it here. And if you do make it here, just do your best. Obviously, you know what I like to do, nice quick singles, because trying to do multiples and getting extra fatigued a lot of time doesn't work for people. So if I am doing that, I'm just gonna focus on a nice big jump. I've shaken out my arms. I have maybe a little bit of time left. Big jump, big swing, and I'm up. And if you can do nice quick singles, that's a great way to get through this workout and just get as deep as you can into the ring muscle ups. If you feel fresh, go for bigger sets. But really, we're not going to spend too much time talking about the muscle up here, because for this workout, if you make it all the way that far and you have a bunch of time, you're probably not needing tips anyway, because you're an elite athlete.
Yeah.
All right, we've reached the fourth and final quarterfinals workout, and that is ascending weight clean and jerks. For everyone, we are suggesting a power clean and jerk with singles. So imagine this just being a weird version of Grace, where you're doing 10 reps at Grace weight, adding more weight during a rest period, 10 more, add more weight, 10 more, add more weight, and then it's an AMRAP at that last weight. Now, a couple things to note. When it comes to gear, you can wear all of your lifting gear. I'll be belting up. I'll probably wear my lifters because it makes me feel more comfortable on the jerk. Obviously, tape your thumbs, use the hook grip, all of your gear that you would normally use for lifting. CJ, anything else?
Gear-wise?
Yeah, gear-wise.
No, I mean, I think it's fine. I think a belt's a good idea here. I'm usually not a fan of it. We've already had a couple people do it, so we have a little bit of feedback. It's a cardio workout for a lot of people if you can get to the last bar. So keep that in mind.
So that means probably when you're done those 10 reps, right, you shouldn't be the one changing your weight.
Right.
I'm done my 10 reps. Maybe have a chair or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
you can sit down. Let people get your heart rate down, sit on the floor if you need to. But as soon as you're done those reps, relax and breathe so you can recover and get ready for the next 10 reps.
Yep.
When it comes to the actual lift, we are talking power clean and push jerk. That's going to be the most efficient and effective way to do it. Ideally, I'm going directly from the power clean into the push jerk. So directly from the power clean into the push jerk. What we don't want to see is athletes power cleaning the bar up. They stand, reset, and then do a jerk. That's wasting a ton of time under tension. The barbell's making it so it's hard to breathe. Get it to that front rack position in that little bit of a dip stance in that power clean, and then straight up and overhead into your push jerk. Any other tips on that movement?
Yeah. If this is a max load, obviously
that goes out the window.
Right. So keep that in mind. When it's light and it's early, we want to reduce time under tension. When it's closer to that max, you're taking a rep every 20 or 30 seconds or a minute. It's different. Make the rep count. Don't miss.
Right. So if doing that technique causes you to miss, then don't do it.
Yep.
But at the lighter weights, definitely that nice quick power clean and jerk, ideally, especially if that's a light to moderate weight for you. Now, something to think about is that jump between weights 2 and 3 is a big jump. For a lot of people, that's where they're going to run into their wall. Maybe they can't even lift the third weight.
Right.
How would those athletes approach this workout?
I still think that athlete is doing fast singles at bar 1, especially bar 2. If bar 3 is outside of your 1RM, bar 2 is going to be probably somewhere around the 85 to 90%. So we're still going to be doing singles. So we don't want to blast round 1 and tie break 1 because it's going to slow us down for that. So it's still a very within yourself paced singles effort for all athletes.
Yeah, it's still a sprint to your tie break score, but you're still doing fast singles.
Right.
Because fast singles are always the way to go. Now, when it comes to those heavier weights, let's say we're starting to get into our more 1 rep max. We've done a lot of power cleans. At some point, some of you, it might be beneficial to start doing that full clean, right? For some people, actually squatting all the way under the bar is going to be the only way they can lift it.
Yep.
So make sure that in warm-ups practicing for this, you hit a couple heavy reps where you're doing that full clean. We don't want the first full clean, squat clean you've done for the day during the workout because you won't necessarily feel very good for that.
That wouldn't be fun.
And also, to note, it's important we practice our split jerk too, because at those heavier weights, we can still apply the same thing. I can still do let's say the push jerk at the heavy couple weights is too hard for me, I can still power clean into that split. And as long as I bring it back, that's a good rep. So make sure you're practicing for these hypotheticals. Hypothetically, you might need to squat under the bar. Hypothetically, you might need to move to a split jerk. Make sure we practice those in warm-up so they're not surprising us mid-workout.
Yep.
Anything else to say about this particular workout?
I love the test.
Yeah, this is obviously my favorite one. Another thing you can think about, this is a tip that I've always given for workouts like Grace and Isabel, is if you're the kind of athlete that tends to rest too much, when you're doing these quick singles, count your breaths. So let's say I do a rep. Rather than just picking the bar back up when I feel like it, maybe force yourself to say, I'm going to take 2 breaths or 3 breaths in between each lift. So I drop the bar, and I'm back on it. For whatever reason, for me, that works really well. When I'm just saying, hey, 3 breaths, and you're back on it. That way I'm not like walking around, looking, it really gets me on the bar quickly. Very redoable workout like we mentioned in the beginning.
Very redoable, right? So you can, I think opening with it is a good idea. Another pacing thing just kind of came to mind. If you have a 5-minute Grace at 135, you shouldn't do your first 10 in a minute. That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
Right? So keep that in mind, right? Understand your pacing. Using your judge, you like to count breaths. The judge, they say in the handbook, the judge is not there to count your reps. That's all they're there for at quarterfinals, guys. Use them to your advantage. They can keep you on a clock really, really well.
Yep. All right, and with that, that has been the strategy for the 2024 CrossFit Quarterfinals. Again, if you want to get the complete strategy guide with all the other tips and details to go along with this video, we have a lot more that you can get access to if you just go to wadprep.com/QF. Enter your name and email. We'll send you all those resources for free. And remember, go grab that sandbar. There's a special discount right now only for the quarterfinals window that is going to save you $10. All you got to do is go to sandbarcalluscare.com/wadprep. Use the code WADPREP10 and your calluses and hands will thank you. And maybe your girlfriend, significant other, whatever, boyfriend. It's going to really help you not have the world's nastiest hands.
Best friend. Oh.
Yeah, and best friend. It means I can do this to him. And with that, we will see you on the leaderboard.